Good morning, room 53. I miss you guys over this long weekend. We are coming to an end of our math as far as our math book and everyday math is concerned. We only have a few more lessons left, and today we're going to be focusing on money. So we're going to be going back a little bit to something that we've worked on throughout the year, reviewing it, making sure we still can add money and use money and remember what the values of the coins are. So that's what today is going to be about. We're going to start with our mental math and fluency, move on to our math message, and then our second video will be our lesson for today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. You are going to need a dry erase board, whiteboard, or some type of blank piece of paper and pencil. There's going to be a lot of writing down where you're either going to have to draw coins or write amounts for me. Remember that you need to pause after each question so that you have time to answer. And then you can press play when you're ready. All right, let's do it. How much money is 2 dimes and 6 pennies? So you can either do this in your head if you're really good with money, or you can write it out on your dry erase board or piece of paper. Remember that we use the first letter of the coin inside of a circle to show that coin. So we would do 2 D's for dimes and 6 P's for pennies, and then we're going to count them up. Pause the video now if you need to write this out and get your answer, and unpause when you're ready. All right, so 2 dimes, which is 2 tens, and 6 pennies, which is 6 ones, gives us a total of 26 cents. Don't forget that cent sign afterwards. Level 2, our next question. How much money is 1 quarter, 1 dime, and 3 pennies? So let's remember that a quarter is worth 25 cents, a dime is worth 10 cents, a nickel is worth 5 cents, and a penny is worth 1 cent. So we typically start with our larger coin, which is our quarter, and then we add on from there. So go ahead and draw your coins out, 1 quarter, 1 dime, and 3 pennies. Count them up. When you are done, you can unpause and check your answer. All right, so I know a quarter is 25, plus 10 is 35. 35 plus 3 is going to give me 38 cents. All right, and for our last one, level 3, how much money is 2 quarters, 2 dimes, 1 nickel, and 2 pennies? So you're going to go ahead and write those out on your board. Pause this video, count up how much money it is, unpause when you're ready. All right, so 2 quarters is 50 cents, 25.50. 2 dimes is 2 tens, so if I have 50 here, that's 60.70. Add a nickel to make 75, and then add 2 pennies. 75 plus 2 gives us 77 cents. Excellent. All right, so our brains are warmed up a little bit here. We're going to go ahead and move on to our math message. All right, so for your math message, you're going to need to draw these coins out. You're going to draw 2 quarters, 5 dimes, 4 nickels, and 7 pennies. You're going to tell me how much money that is by writing the total. When you unpause the video, we will share how much money we came up with, how we counted it, and then move on to our next part of our math message. Pause now, count that money up, and come back to me when you're done. All right, so this is the money that we needed to count out, and I asked you to draw out. So your 2 quarters, your 5 dimes, your 4 nickels, and your 7 pennies. So our 2 quarters is going to be 50 cents. Okay, so we have our 50 cents. And then we have our 5 dimes, which is another 50 cents. So 50 plus 50, this gives us 100 or $1. Okay, so we've got $1, and then we're going to count the rest of our coins. 4 nickels, we have to count by 5 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. So that gives us 20 cents plus another 7 cents here. So we should have come up with a total of 127 cents, or $1.27. Right? So we are going to come back to talking about how we can write money in 2 different ways, just like this. But before we do that, we're going to practice some more money skills. All right, so here we go. How many pennies are in a nickel? How many pennies are in a nickel? A nickel is worth 5 cents. So how many pennies would be in a nickel? 5 pennies. Excellent. How many pennies are in a dime? A dime is worth 10 cents. So how many pennies would be in a dime? 10 pennies. Excellent. How many pennies are in a quarter? A quarter is worth 25 cents. So how many pennies would be in a quarter? 25. Excellent. How many pennies are in 50 cents? Pennies are worth 1. So using what came up with up here, 50 cents would be 50 pennies. How many pennies are in a dollar? A dollar is worth 100 cents. So how many pennies would there be? 100 pennies. Excellent. How many pennies would be in $2? So if $1 is 100 cents, $2 would be 200 cents. So 200 pennies. Excellent. And how many pennies would be in $10? Woo! $10. So that's 10 100s. If I had 10 100s or 10 flats, if I'm thinking base 10 blocks, how much is that going to be? It's a big one. If you said 1,000, you are correct. All right, let's do a little bit more. Let's move past pennies. So the reason that we're asking and answering these questions is because today we're going to be talking about how we can pay for something that costs a certain amount of money more than one way. There's more than one way to pay for something. So $1.27 or 127, those coins that we added up, there is another way to show 127, right? We could do 5 quarters and 2 pennies and still come up with the same amount. So that's what we're doing with all of these questions. How many dimes are in a dollar? Dime is worth 10. How many tens in 100? We would need 10 dimes in a dollar. How many dimes in 60 cents? Dimes are worth 10. How many tens is in 60? 6 dimes. Excellent. How many nickels are in a quarter? Nickels are worth 5 cents and a quarter is 25 cents. How many fives do we need to get to 25? 5 fives. You got it. How many nickels are in a dollar? So nickels are worth 5. A dollar is 100. So how many nickels does it take to get to 100? Always pause if you need more time. If you're ready, I'm ready. 20 nickels in a dollar. How many nickels would be in a half of a dollar? So half of a dollar is 50. So how many nickels would you need to get to 50? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's 10. Excellent. Couple more. How many quarters are in a dollar? A dollar is 100. Think back to when we learned about quarters. 25, 50, 75, 100. How many quarters would that be? 4 quarters. Excellent. And how many quarters would be in half of a dollar? Half of a dollar is 50 cents. So how many quarters equals 50 cents? Excellent. 2. All right, we have one more thing to look at for our math message. So when we counted out our money, we said we had 127 cents, but we also could write it this way. We also could use our dollar sign and our decimal. Okay? So we're going to take a look at different ways that we can write money. You're going to need your piece of paper and pencil or your dry erase board and marker. All right, so I can have 74 cents written $0.74 this way, or 74 cents. I cannot have both a dollar sign and a cent sign. I'm either going to have the dollar sign and the decimal or the cent sign. I'm not going to have both. So if I have 275 cents, how would I write that using my dollar sign and my decimal? Write it out for me, pause while you do it, and then come back to the video when you're ready. All right, here we go. 275 cents, we would write it out dollar sign, $2, decimal, and 75 cents, just like that. How about 305 cents? How would I use my dollar sign and decimal to write this amount? Pause the video while you write it. Come back to me when you're ready. So if I'm writing 305 cents, I'm going to write $3.05. $3 written like this, my decimal 0.5. I have to put that 0 in there. If I don't put that 0 in there, it actually changes it to 50 cents. $3.50. So that 0 is very important in there. How about 89 cents? Now I have no dollars. So use this one up here to help you. Pause, write it out, come back to me when you're ready. So if I'm going to write 89 cents using dollar signs and decimals, I'm going to start with my dollar sign. I have $0, so I'm going to put a 0 there. I'm going to put my decimal and then my 89. So that's another way to show 89 cents. $1.25. Go ahead and write that out for me using our dollar signs and our decimals. $1.25. All right, we're going to start with that dollar sign, of course. We're going to put our $1, our decimal, and then our 25 cents. And our last one, $2.90. Write it out for me. Pause while you do it. Come back to me when you're ready. All right, so we have our dollar sign, $2, our decimal, and 90 cents. Perfect. All right, so that's it for this video. Our next video is going to be our lesson. And our lesson is actually going to be the work that you need to do for today. So I'm going to need for you to have some blank paper ready to go. I would rather you have blank paper than a dry erase board so that you could possibly share it with me. I can't do it on a Google slide today because it's just too many pieces. So we're going to do it together. All right, see you next video.